Hi, everybody. So I decided to do a PowerPoint presentation to go along with my movie explanation. So I'll share my screen for that. So I chose to watch The Theory of Everything. So, The Theory of Everything is a movie about the life of Stephen Hawking. If you aren't sure who that is, Stephen Hawking was, of course, a famous theoretical physicist who was well known for his work on understanding the origins and structure of the universe, as well as studying black holes. He was diagnosed with ALS when he was 21 years old. The usual expected lifespan for someone with ALS is usually about 4 years after they receive a diagnosis. Stephen Hawking, however, lived another 55 years after his diagnosis. It is important to note, however, that he was diagnosed at a pretty young age, and people who have a diagnosis of ALS at a younger age tend to live longer than the expected 4 years. But definitely, they aren't expected to live as long as he did, which was 55. After diagnosis, Stephen Hawking went on to have many accomplishments, continuing his work in the theoretical world, as well as having a family. He had a wife, kids, so he accomplished a lot. So, what is ALS and what would be the relation to IDEA? ALS is a motor neuron disease that gradually paralyzes patients. There's no cure for it. ALS most commonly affects people between the ages of 40 to 70, so it wouldn't relate to IDEA as much as it would to ADA. Because of this, I would have to say that it would fall under low incidence as it doesn't affect many students, especially in the setting that I teach in, which is currently an elementary school. If I had to put it under a category on IDEA, I would say it would probably fall under other health impairment. So I really enjoyed watching the movie, and the activity I thought I would complete with my students would be a class discussion. The movie and discussion would probably be more appropriate for high school age students, even though I teach elementary. So I kind of geared the activity towards that age group. After watching the movie with my students, I would put them into small groups and assign one of the following questions to each group. The questions I decided on were: which part of the movie affected you the most? Why? What is one takeaway you had from the movie? What emotions were evoked in you while watching the film? How have your thoughts around disabilities changed after watching the film? And how did you feel about Jane's reaction and response to finding out Stephen had been diagnosed with ALS? And Jane was Stephen Hawking's wife. So after I would give each group time to discuss, I would have them take turns sharing their ideas, and other groups would have opportunities to chime in and share their thoughts as well. That way, each group focuses on one question, but they get to hear everyone's response on all questions by the end of the lesson. Those are my citations. I think that activity would be a great way for students to really analyze the movie while having a chance to share their own thoughts and feelings that came up while watching it. It would be a good opportunity to just have a really honest discussion about ALS with students. Of course, we would have to set discussion rules as well in order to maintain respect for everybody. That would probably be a class norm that we would have. And I believe that the students could learn quite a bit from the movie, just like I did. I really enjoyed watching it. All right. Thanks for listening.